What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button, join Ninja Nation. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Tyler Anderson, who had these changeups and cutters on his way to 6 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 1 run. He battled against Jesus Luzardo, who had these painted two-seamers, nasty curveballs, and changeups on his way to 7 strikeouts in 6 1/3 innings, also giving up 1 run. Chris Bassett had these two-seamers and elevated cutter, as well as these wicked curveballs, including this Boys to Men curveball. Yep, Schwarber is down on bended knee. He outdueled Aaron Nola, who did have 9 strikeouts, but gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, although Nola did have his trademark knuckle curve and sinker and changeup working. Kevin Gausman threw 7 scoreless innings, giving up only 4 hits, and had 7 strikeouts thanks to his fastballs and these filthy splitters. Matt Manning had 6 Ks and 7 one-run innings, thanks to his fastball and slider. He was outdueled by Patrick Sandoval, who showcased his changeup and these absolutely filthy sliders. Looking at those sliders, it's no wonder that he threw a shutout and had 9 strikeouts. He lowered his ERA to 3.14 on the year, and opponents are only hitting .210 against his slider with a 33.7% whiff rate. Shane McClanahan had 8 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs, thanks to his combo of fastballs, sliders, and changeups. And he got this sword on this 98-mile-an-hour fastball. His ERA this year is now 2.29. Brady Singer had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, and he's been really good lately, mostly due to his command of that two-seamer. Martin Perez had these nasty cutters on his way to 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. Miles Michaelis had 4 Ks in 8 innings and had these painted fastballs. His ERA is now 3.32. Blake Snell had 7 Ks in 5 innings thanks to his sliders and this curveball that got the sword. Snell's stuff is absolutely elite. Speaking of elite, Kyle Wright showed off his slider yesterday, had this White Castle special as well as his 94-mile-an-hour slider. He was really ripping that thing. He also had these insane sinkers. Look at the movement on those. Just wicked stuff on his way to 7 Ks in 6 innings and outdueled Lance McCullers, who had 6 Ks in 5 innings thanks to his filthy knuckle curve and sliders. Lance Lynn had 6 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, and he had this fastball and flourish at the end. I love it. On the other end of the weight spectrum, Triston McKenzie was absolutely incredible and was my filthiest starter of the night. He had 14 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 2 runs, and had no walks. He had a 63% whiff rate on his curveball, and looking at these, you can see why. Absolute hammers. Here's an overlay of his elevated fastball and his curveball, and you can see how much that curveball drops. McKenzie's stuff was overwhelming, and he had 25 whiffs total last night. I think the secret to his dominance is either his drive to get that Rolex from Marcus Stroman, or the real unsung hero here, his Pitching Ninja shirt.
Show him your wrist. He may have to give you something. Rob, we're watching.
We're here. I may have wore this shirt specifically.
Now on to my filthiest relievers. Emmanuel Clase had this 100-mile-an-hour cutter and 91-mile-an-hour slider. Colin McHugh had these vicious sliders. Adam Ottavino had these UFO sliders, and here's an overlay of his slider and his two-seamer. Look at that. Scott Barlow had this Expelliarmus breaking ball.
Expelliarmus!
Felix Bautista had this absolutely dirty 91-mile-an-hour splitter. And here's an overlay of that splitter with his 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Good luck. Jhoan Duran had this 103-mile-an-hour fastball, and check out this side view of it. Anytime you think you can hit a major league fastball, be sure to remember this. And here's an overlay of his 102-mile-an-hour fastball and 90-mile-an-hour curveball. So you have to deal with that heat and that hook. Jordan Hicks had sinkers up to 104 miles an hour and these absurd sliders. But my filthiest reliever yesterday was Dylan Coleman. Coleman had these absolutely ridiculous sliders. These things were breaking up to 21 inches at that velocity. I mean, how are you supposed to hit this? And his fastball topped out at 99 miles an hour. Just obscene stuff. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. Yes, it's the Philly fanatic exacting his revenge on Keith Hernandez for Keith Hernandez's statements on the Phillies' defense. What is up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are for Garrett Cole to have 8 Ks or more, and then 2 same-game parlays. I'm going to go with Spencer Strider and Christian Javier to have 8 Ks or more, both of them. And then I'm going to go with Joe Musgrove for 8 Ks or more, and Josiah Gray for 7 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?